Welcome to Room 9, the region's largest classroom. I am Mrs. Wright and I teach at Monroe Elementary in St. Charles. Today I will be teaching a reading lesson meant for sweet second graders, but as always, everyone of all ages, adults, children, anyone and everyone is welcome to learn with us. So, how's everybody doing today? I am doing great, actually. I had a really good day. I worked out this morning, and my workout was walking Molly, and she is 3. She's 3, and she's finally getting really good at not pulling when we're walking. So she has this like special collar that she wears to help her walk better, and she hasn't been needing that. She just has her like normal cute little summery collar, which I need to get her a fall one really. And so she just has her normal collar and she's doing a really good job, and so it's kind of exciting. So we've been doing a lot of walks in the morning. Hopefully we'll be able to do runs soon, see how she does with that. See how she does. Who am I kidding? I'm trying to build up to running, guys. I don't have anything to hide. Sorry, that was really loud. I'm really trying to become a runner. It's rather difficult, but I'm trying. And so yeah, we walk in the morning, I listen to a podcast, and it just starts my day really awesome. So I hope you are doing well. I hope you had a wonderful day so far. Maybe you are watching this live. If so, woo! If you are watching it from YouTube, I hope you're doing great no matter what time of the day it is. So let's go ahead and get started. And we always need to start by finding a spot that's good for both our brain and our body. We need to find the strategies that we need for getting ourselves to the green zone so that we can have a little bit more of a calm mind and a calm body. I have been drinking a lot of water to help my brain and my body. I stretched before I came down here because sometimes when I sit in this chair to record, I feel antsy. So if you need to drink some water, if you need to stretch, go ahead and do those things, please. And remember, a good stretch, if you need to naturally breathe in and out, stretch above your head, kind of just hang your body, dangle it to your toes, and then we're gonna do some deep breathing. Okay, here we go. Nice job. All right, and I am ready to learn. I hope you are too. So I am very excited to be studying text features this week. So our objective, what we're going to be working on, is I will be able to identify and use nonfiction text features. So it's really important when you are reading nonfiction to realize that there is a lot of differences between fiction and nonfiction, right? So fiction, it tells a story. There's not a lot of like extra stuff to it, but nonfiction is information, is facts for you to learn, and there are a lot of things happening in a nonfiction book. There's stuff all over it, okay? And we call those text features, okay? And the text features are meant to be used. They are very important, and they actually help you to become a better nonfiction reader, okay? And I don't know about you, but I love to read nonfiction books because I like learning random information. Like, I didn't know that a polar bear's paw was the size of my face or bigger, but that's cool to know. Who knows? Maybe I'll participate in a trivia night and win a lot of money. You never know. I don't know. Maybe I'll win, I don't know, some radio show contest because I know random trivia, right? Trivia, random facts, who knows? But when we look at nonfiction, we notice right away that it looks different than fiction. And so here's what I want you to do. I want you to either, you get to choose, use your handy dandy magnifying glass or put on 2 binoculars. Okay, so make your choice. You got a magnifying glass or binoculars, whichever one you want to use. Okay, and I am going to slowly, maybe a little quickly, we'll see. I'm sure I'll start off slow and then I'll get fast because that's kind of what I do. We are going to go through this book I have here called Endangered Elephants by Bobbie Kalman. And this book is being used with permissions from Crabtree Publishing, okay? So we are going to look through this book, and while we're flipping through it, we're not going to do any reading yet. While we're flipping through it, I want you to use your binoculars or your magnifying glass to spot the things that are different in this book than what a book of fiction would be like. And maybe you know what those are called. Maybe you know the names of the text features. I don't know. Okay, binoculars on. Come on, people. Really, put your binoculars on, get your magnifying glass. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. Okay, use those binoculars. Use that magnifying glass. What nonfiction text features do you see? You can make a list in your head. I see some really good nonfiction text features. Okay. Let's see how fast I can go. Ooh. Ooh, wonder what that is. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of give you a sneak peek of this whole book. Ooh, what's this? Uh-oh. Oh gosh, there's all new. Ooh, that one was new. You know, I'm noticing some of these have the same on every page. Hey, put your binoculars back on. You can't see them. Doing great. I know this seems silly, but this is such an important part of being a nonfiction reader. Okay. All right. Okay, so just kind of sit with it for a second. What are all the different nonfiction text features that you saw in this book, Endangered Elephants? Yes, I'm hearing some really good ones. The last page had a glossary and an index. The first page had a table of contents. There were real pictures of elephants. There were words all over the page. All over. All the pages were covered in words, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start with what I think is super, super important. And you can kind of think of it as like a chapter book. So a chapter book, whenever you open up a chapter book, it has a list of each chapter, right? And most of the time, not always, but most of the time, it tells you the name of the chapter and what page that chapter starts on. Well, this table of contents or any table of contents really, that can be found in a nonfiction book is very, very similar. Okay, so each one of these sections is a heading on the page that's listed. Okay, and so the heading and the table of contents match. So what this is saying is, and sometimes they just call it content, sometimes they don't even put table of contents. So what this is saying is, what are elephants? That is the section, what are elephants? And it can be found starting on page 6. So I'm going to flip to page 6 and it will match, okay? Remember, the section we're flipping to is what are elephants, page 6. So I flip to page 6, and at the top it says, what are elephants? Okay, and this right here, this is already another kind of nonfiction text feature. It tells you what the whole page is about, okay? So let's recap that. The table of contents gives you a list of sections that are going to be found in this book. Then, if I wanted to go to what if I wanted to learn about elephant bodies, that section starts on page 10. So I'm going to flip to page 10. Ooh, and this section is called elephant bodies. So the heading on the top of the page and the section right here on the table of contents is the heading. They match. So all of the headings for the whole book are listed in the table of contents. So if I were a reader and I was like, I'm going to learn about endangered elephants. Oh, yeah, I want to learn about what elephants eat. Look, elephant food. I can learn about what elephants eat on page 18. So I'm just going to flip to page 18. And the heading on the top of the page is called, that's right, elephant food. Because the table of contents and the headings always match. Nice job, friends. So we have learned about 2 types already of nonfiction text features. Okay, so we are going to chart them on this chart here. So the first one that we learned about is the table, of contents. I got some new markers, so hopefully you like them. Okay, and it's important to ask ourselves this question. Cool, that's really great. This is a table of contents, but how does it help me as a reader? How does the table of contents help me as a reader? What do you think? Yeah, so if I want to learn specific information, I can open up to the table of contents and see if this book is going to have that. Okay, so how it helps me as a reader, I know what I'm going to learn. You know what you're going to learn in the book, right? And you know the page numbers. So you know what you're going to learn in the book by heading and a page number. So table of contents are super important, and I always really like to start there. Okay, so we are going to flip to, I really want to know about elephant food. So let's flip back to what page am I going to flip to? Use that table of contents. That's right, friends, page 18. I'm going to flip to page 18. Okay, and let's just take a minute to notice some things on this page. We probably noticed some things when we were peeking through, but let's notice a few things that might not be in a fiction book. So I see some real pictures. I see some words underneath pictures. I see some words that are in bold, right? Like herbivores and salt licks. What is that about? And then I noticed something super weird over here. Do you see it? So do you see where it says a lot of water? That's bold, but it's a phrase. It's not just one word like these. And the font is bigger than the other font, but not as big as the heading. What do you think that might be called? Yeah, that's called a subheading. So a subheading, oh wait, did I get ahead of ourselves? I did. A subheading comes underneath a heading. The heading on this page is elephant food. So I know in this section of the book, I'm going to learn all about the food that elephants eat, okay? Then the subheading tells my brain, you're still learning about elephant food, but now more specifically, you're learning about the water that they drink. So if I turn the page and there's not a new heading, I'm still learning about elephant food. If I turn this page and there's a new heading, that means the topic, what I'm going to learn about on all those pages, changes. So let's flip the page. Ooh, habitat loss. Yeah, so now this is the heading, and I know that because look, it matches the table of contents. So I know that these pages are going to be all about habitat loss. Yeah, do you see it? Look, there's a subheading. So underneath habitat loss, I'm going to learn not enough food. So I'm wondering, because of habitat loss, I bet there's not enough food. So the section changed from this page to this page, and I know that because the heading changed. So a heading is really important because as a reader, you know what the whole section is going to be about. It tells you what these pages are going to be about. So let's write that up here. Heading. Okay, it tells you what the whole section is about. Okay? It's usually pretty big, easy to read. Okay, now, you're right. I didn't forget, don't you worry. We also learned about a subheading. A subheading. So a subheading does the same thing as a heading, okay? But it's a little more, okay? So the subheading tells you specific, ooh, that was close, info about that section, okay? And what I mean by that is this. This page is all about elephant food. But this page, this part, this section of the whole section is talking specifically about water. Okay? Now, I don't know about you. I feel like we've worked our brains super duper hard. We've learned 3 kinds of text features. 3, guys, okay? So, here we go. I like putting emotions with things. So, here we're going, ready? You're going to mirror me or copy me, okay? So, table of contents. Tells you what you will learn in the book. Has a heading and page numbers. Good, now let's do the whole thing. Table of contents. Tells you what you will learn in the book. Has a heading and page number. Good job, friends. All right, heading. Heading. Tells you what you will learn in that section. Good. Heading tells you what you will learn in that section. Good. Subheading tells you what you will learn inside that little section. Specific. I should have used. Okay, so let's try subheading again. Ready? Subheading tells you specific information in that section. You better be squinting your eyes. Okay, ready? Here we go. Table of contents. Oh, come on. Table of contents tells you what the whole book is about. Has a heading and a page number. Good. Heading tells you what the whole section or page will be about. Subheading tells you specific info on that section. Nice job. All right, we deserve to read a little bit of this. Endangered elephants, right? Let's read. Elephant food. You never skip the headings. It tells you what the whole section will be about. Elephant food. Elephants spend most of the day foraging or searching for food and eating. They are herbivores. Herbivores are animals that eat mainly plants. Grasses, fruits, twigs, leaves, water plants, and seeds are the main foods that elephants eat. Elephants eat bark too. They strip their bark from trees using their tusks. They also use their tusks to dig up dirt and rocks at salt licks. I wonder what that is. Oh, salt licks are places where the soil is full of salt. Elephants must eat salt to stay healthy. All right, now we're switching to the subheading. So we're still learning about food, but this is subheading is a lot of water. Elephants drink a lot of water. They use their long trunks to suck up water and squirt it down their throats. In hot, dry weather, the water in some rivers dries up. When water is hard to find, elephants dig up dry riverbeds using their tusks. They dig to find water that is buried deep underground. Interesting. Okay, I'll give you a good look at the pictures. Nice job. Okay, let's go ahead and read one more section because I kind of gave us a preview of it and I really just wanted to read it. Okay, where do elephants live? This is what I want to know. Different elephants live in different habitats. Oh, the heading is good. The heading is where do elephants live? A habitat is the natural place where an animal lives. Some elephants live only in one habitat, such as a forest. Other elephants move among several habitats, searching for food. Asian elephants and African forest elephants live mainly in rainforests. African savanna elephants, such as the one shown below, live mainly on dry grasslands. These elephants also travel to mountains, deserts, forests, and swamps. No subheading on that page. All right, friends, so I have a challenge for you today. Today, I want you to find a nonfiction book. Maybe you don't have an actual book at home. You could get on YouTube and look for a book if you have access to Epic, maybe. If you, there's lots of different ways you can Google books. YouTube really has a lot of books that you can look at for free, and they'll show you the pages. And so I want you to find in a nonfiction book a table of contents, a heading, and a subheading. Okay? Let's remember one more time. Ready? Table of contents. I had to look in case I forgot. Tells you what the book will be about, has a heading and a page number. Heading tells you what the whole section or page is about. Subheading tells you specific information in that section. All right, nice job, friends. I loved learning with you today. I will see you back next time for more about text features. Have a good night.
Teaching in Room 9 is made possible with support of Bank of America, Dana Brown Charitable Trust, Emerson, and viewers like you.